Let's have a quick look on how the alt season is going on. We have the market going up, breaking the new region of accumulation, retest, and a bounce. Good. Now, something just changed in here that recently, and it showed you that there is some issue. Short term, it's 1, it's 2. So there is 3 impulse usually to the downside. How do you look at that? You can see the 1, the 2, the 3. So you have 3 impulses to the downside. Now, even if you want to pick that to the upside, you will notice the same. You have the 1, you have the 2, you have the 3, right? So in both the directions, it kind of works very well. Now, look at this on a macro horizon. It is trying to break through something on a 3-day chart, which would not look great. On a daily, which is a bit zoomed in, you broke that to the downside, you're retesting, and with the daily close, you already got the rejection. Can we retest that again? Because usually you do that, like, you break, you retest, you get rejected, but then you go back up one more time, fake out, make a lot more people come in on the buying side and then drop. Can the whales do something like that? Because sometimes this is the breakout, this is the retest for sure, and the drop, it does another retest before it drops. So whether that retest is going to put in a new local swing high or it's going to drop from there is what we have to see. Now, how would we identify that? Say this is XRP. On a daily chart, what you're watching here is clear. You broke that to the downside, the moving average, and you've seen that before. You retest that and get rejected. You retest that and then get rejected. So there are multiple odds. Now that is on a daily chart. You zoom out. You want to see the macro picture. Where is the support? This is a 3-day chart and it shows 2.76 is going to be the primary support. We already went to that region once. So let's see how we react to that level when we come there the second time. Now you go on to the macro, a weekly chart. And the weekly kind of shows you, okay, support should be somewhere around 2.5. Trouble is, the monthly says it's at 1.7. Now, why does the 1.7 matter? Because right now, the monthly argues, if I'm doing what I'm doing right now, price came back to the exact same top, and then what happens? You watch the buying strength. Okay, when we came back up to the same high or a new high, the buying strength did not agree. So who the hell sold way more XRP than those who sold last time? That was on a weekly. This is on a monthly. There is a lot of issues. Fine. Now, watch this. You go on to another asset. That's XLM here. It's showing, okay, I had an impulse for sure with the double bottom. But then, if you notice something, I came very close to the previous high in terms of price, but in the strength, I came nowhere near that. It's not a textbook negative divergence for sure. So it will generate a lot of questions, a lot of doubts. This is what whales usually do. Now, bring back in the Bitcoin chart. I mean, that matters way more than anything else. Bitcoin dropping below with a roofing pattern, a distribution, and then breaking to the downside, retesting, and if it breaks this 112, it's going to be painful if it does this. There is multiple aspects to the downside. You can take the measured move on a lot of different fronts, but what you have to keep in mind is that you have all these in front of you. So if you want to be conservative, you'll put that line somewhere here, connecting all this, and you'll say, oh shit, that's a breakout already. Now, say you want to be as accurate as possible. What do? You remove all the noise, all the long wicks, connect the bottom to the bottom and see. That doesn't look good. Fine. Now, last time this happened, last time, yeah, not something I've done, what the market did. Last time that happened, how did the market react? There was a retest, there was a rejection. Now, on a daily, how did that retest look like? It came back to the moving average and got rejected, which also happened to be the trend line. Right now, where are we? You see that? So maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's just my eyes, but be careful. There'll be a lot of hype influencers giving you a lot of different aspects but watch the MACD cross to the downside. That's a Bitcoin 3-day chart right now staying in front of you, screaming another negative divergence on a 3-day. It's pushing lower. So right now you have a daily, a 3-day, and a weekly negative divergence on Bitcoin in itself. Now you go to the monthly, and it says I already have a valid negative divergence and right now making an extension of that. Good. Now we go to the total crypto market. It's very easy. Let's keep this simple. Let's keep this quick. Watch in just 6 days of the month, which side is the volume aligning? Do you think that's substantial volume on the buying side, or do you think it's not? I mean, last time this came up, all of a sudden, you know what happened in price? If not, let's be accurate. The price dropped like this, close to 40%, 38.76% to be accurate. Yeah. So if we are going to do that this time around, it's having even higher volume. 1, 2, the month just started. So by the time you close this month, if you have a higher volume on selling side, if they win, you know what to anticipate or expect. Some assets, not all assets, some assets are showing you this. Yeah, this is weekly chart. And it just confirmed there's no negative divergence on a local point. On a macro, yes, there is, but local point, it doesn't. And then when you start going in, zooming in, it shows, okay, there is a micro negative divergence. Now, what do you need? A swing negative divergence. So in Ether, maybe, I'm not sure, maybe it's gonna do something like this before it goes down, it come back up, but the RSI says, no, I'm collapsing, right? And that can happen. We have seen that multiple times in multiple assets. So keeping this simple, keeping this as easy as possible, the way you have to look at this is the general market is something where you should not deviate from. If the general market is arguing that it is about to go down, now you don't want to go down, because one of these aspects which you should not forget is the MACD cross on a 3-day. Last time the MACD crossed at these highs, you know what happened in price action? That was a drop. Now this is total crypto market, yeah, not just one asset. That's a 20% drop. And next time you did that, it's somewhere here. The price dropped how much? Let's see. The total drop there was around 13%. So this is local drop, micro correction based on a 3-day chart. Now, what is more important? Last time when you dropped, you lost the trend line in RSI. Okay, that's why you had 20% drop. This time around, you're getting very close. Will you lose that support or not? I don't know. But if it does, you know the result. Now we go on a higher time frame. Okay, if we do that, what is the price action showing you? I mean, this is as clear as a day. Now, trouble will be majority will never expect this, saying, oh, that's because of that news. It just came out of the blue, was not on the charts. Yes, for sure. If there is going to be something massive which is unpredictable, like a new corona wave, like a new health crisis, or the world war, which no one expects, there can be severe impact. If the market should go down 50%, it may go down 100%. I agree. But the element there is what you have to count. Say, for example, with the war, what happened? The market was not expected to go that down, but it dropped 15%. Good. It only dropped 15%. But at that point, no one knew how deep it's going to go. But right now, if the market has to go down and some kind of news comes in, the drop and its depth is going to be crazy. Now, trouble is, how will Bitcoin to altcoin play out? Will it be an alt season? What do you notice here on the long-term trend line support here? It's a very long-term trend line support, yeah? All the way back from 2022 till this point in 2025. If you take the support and bounce off from there, you know what that means. And especially when the Bitcoin is going down, if that's happening, the results are much, much easier to anticipate. So let's drop the video here and make sure you guys drop that like button and share the video to the ones who are really serious about crypto. Not the ones who really want to FOMO in, but those who want to learn and adapt for the next 12, 15 months.